Hello, Kiss Army. I'm your host, Pasquale Vari. Welcome to Let Me Know, a Short Kiss. Tonight we're joined by a good friend of ours, Eric Brunet. So for the first time, you're on the show. Welcome, my friend.
It's very nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
On this episode, we're going to talk about a good friend of mine, Lyn Christopher. I met Lynn back in 2013 at a New Jersey Kiss Expo. Although I hadn't seen her again in person since, we continue to communicate to this day. So you could imagine how excited I was to hear about the re-release of her 1973 debut album distributed by Real Gone Music. So we want to take this opportunity to weigh in on the album. But before we do that, if you didn't know Lyn Christopher, here's a quick interview I did with her again back in 2013 at the New Jersey Kiss Expo.
Hi, I'm Lyn Christopher. I just wanted to say thank you very much to the nation, the Army Nation, Kiss Army. I've known you for years, and I've known about you for years, but I've never had the opportunity that I'm having today. I just wanted to say that I'm from Brooklyn, Canarsie, and I know Paul and Jean before they were Kiss. They were called Wicked Lester, and they sang on my album. They did two songs called Wedding and Celebrate, and we had lots of fun. Jean would always make me laugh, and Paul would always stare at me. And I was so young, I didn't know that maybe he was interested in me. But that's 40 years ago. So now here I am. I'm so excited to be here with Ken Sharp and Ross. They've been really sweet to me. And meeting everybody in the Kiss family has been really wonderful. And I thank you very much. And I hope you have a great day today. And I'll see you again real soon.
That video was taken from a series of videos I did back in 2013 to 2018 called Kiss Army Nation TV. And man, watching that 2013 New Jersey Expo sure brought back a lot of memories. So again, I was so excited to hear about the release of this record, the re-release of this record. So let's talk about Lyn Christopher and her debut album. So Eric, first of all, did you get the record? And second, what was your initial reaction to this record?
Okay, I have the record as files on my desktop. I haven't got the album yet, but it is available now on Amazon. So I'm planning to order it this week. It's available on Amazon.ca. You wanted to know my thoughts on the record?
Yeah.
Basically, I think that, to a lot of Kiss fans, it's a holy grail vinyl because of the participation of Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, as well as Peter Criss, prior to the advent of Kiss, to them becoming popular. But honestly, after listening to it, there's so much more to it than just the Kiss connection. I think it's a really great album that stands up on its own. And the thing I like about it is it kind of defies categorization or genres. Back in the 60s and 70s, where artists were just, kind of encouraged to be themselves without having to pin them down and put them in a certain genre. So there's influences here all over the place, which I absolutely loved. And also, there's some very eclectic lyrical matter. Like She Used to Want to Be a Ballerina. I love that song. Super catchy song, and not what you'd expect. I've never quite heard a song like that. And I just think it's a fantastic album. I mean, I read up on it a little bit. Part of what makes it so scarce is the fact that Paramount Records was absorbed by another company shortly after its release. So it was actually on the market for a very short period of time before it was pulled by the new parent company that took over Paramount. But that's a real sin because it's a fantastic album that's packed with great songs. And I actually read also, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but apparently there was a second and third album recorded but shelved. So that would be something to ask Lyn Christopher if that's actually accurate. But I love it. I mean, there's traces of R&B in there. There's very radio-friendly stuff on there. The ballads are absolutely beautiful. Folk influences too. It's definitely one of my favorite albums that I've heard this year.
Nice, nice. I've been wanting to get this album for a long time, since I've been collecting vinyl again. I've been wanting to get this album on the bootleg market, but it was going like for 300-400 US. There was no way. There was no way. But I refused to listen to it even on Spotify or anywhere else I could hear it. I wanted to hear it for the first time on record. So when I got this, I was so excited. It's like, oh, finally it's coming out. I could finally listen to it. I've been friends with Lynn for a very long time, and I've been dying to listen to this. And in a sense, you know, I have a pretty open mind when it comes to music. So I even without listening to it, and I'm being biased because I know Lynn, I thought to myself, I'm going to like this album anyway, you know? Now, I'm no music critic. I don't know in terms of musicality and instruments. Like to this day, I can't tell that Peter Criss didn't play on Psycho Circus. I don't have the ear for it. For me, music is about how it makes me feel. That's how I determine whether I like a song or not, whether I like an album or not. And when I heard this album, it made me happy. I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I'm happy for Lyn Christopher that there's going to be fans out there that are going to rediscover her music, maybe again or maybe for the first time. But it was so good. It was so good. I loved her voice. What an incredible voice she had. And I like a lot of the songs on this record. You know, for me, I like more of the up-tempo songs. Those songs stood out for me, but the songs that the rest of the album basically, to me, is like they're not like, I didn't see them as individual songs, but as an entire package. It's one of those albums where you listen to it from beginning to end. It's a pleasurable experience from beginning to end. It has its high moments, but as an overall experience, it's just an amazing, amazing listen. So speaking of which, what are some of your standout songs in this album?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a journey that from beginning to end through different moods and different styles. I mentioned She Used to Want to Be a Ballerina. I like that one a lot. I find it very catchy. There's a great version on there of Canta Libre, which means sing freely. It was originally penned by Neil Diamond, and I'd never heard the Neil Diamond version, oddly enough. But that's just a gorgeous, gorgeous interpretation. And you mentioned her voice. Her voice is absolutely beautiful. One of those voices that's instantly recognizable, I think. And just the minute I played a little bit of it for my wife, I think I played one of the ballads for my wife, she was like, my God, she has a beautiful voice. I like Is Everybody Happy and Celebration 2. I find it has almost a very type of like Broadway musical feel to it that's very happy and uplifting. Celebration 2 in particular kind of reminded me of Hair, which, the Age of Aquarius and all that stuff that was so popular at the end of the 60s. Wedding is a great song. And also I love Take Me With You and Billy Come Down, which was kind of a different stylistic approach at the very end of the album, where you go into these funky bass lines and just very R&B funky bass line, and kind of a contrast to more the acoustic ballads and the stuff that was more commercial and radio friendly before. But yeah, I love those songs. But I mean, it's a great album from beginning to end. There's not a song on there that I don't enjoy.
Mm-hmm. This is not one of those records that you can listen to as you're doing something. I think it's a record you need to sit back, lie down, and just experience it. Because like you said, it does take you on a journey, and it takes you on an emotional high, emotional lows, you know. And for me, my standout songs was the first one, She Used to Be a Ballerina, nice up-tempo song. And I also liked Wedding and Billy Come Down. Like you made an interesting point that it has sort of like a different feel from the rest of the album. And the album, again, it takes you on an emotional journey up and down. And it starts off high, it goes low, goes steady, and then sort of takes you down and relaxes you at the end. It comes in for that landing, And I listened to this album about 3-4 times already, and a couple times before the airing of this episode. And just an amazing listening experience. Listen, I've got a collection of close to 1,000 records, and I could count maybe on one hand, maybe two, of some really favorite albums that I have that I really enjoy from beginning to end. It's one of those albums that I could listen to over and over again. A lot of the records I've listened to maybe 2-3 times max. I've already listened to this 4 or 5 times, and I will continue listening to it. It's just an amazing listening experience. And again, that voice, I don't know how old she was back then in 73. She must have been in her early 20s. But what a big voice for such a young woman. And just what a powerhouse of a voice she has. So overall, how would you rate Lyn Christopher's debut album?
Well, I thought it was a wonderful album to discover. And I mean, I like stuff that's aside from the rock and roll genre. So to me, it reminds me a lot of some of the albums I loved from when I was a kid, like Cat Stevens. A lot of Cat Stevens, people have like misconceptions that it's all folk, but he had rocky stuff on there also, kind of like Another Saturday Night and Remember the Days of the Old Schoolyard. I think the album works beautifully as a cohesive statement. I read that Ron Johnson and Eddie Kramer were involved in the production of it, which makes perfect sense, right? Because Ron Johnson went on to the Wicked Lester stuff, and Eddie Kramer went on to the Kiss demos. So the connections there. But yeah, I mean, the most important thing is the voice.
Yeah.
And we have actually a young folk singer named, I like to work with local talent in Montreal. We have a young folk singer, alternative singer right now in Montreal called Rachel Dara. And she's another one, kind of like Lyn Christopher, was one of those signature voices where the minute she sings, it's her.
Yeah.
And we always kind of compare her live shows to therapy. Mm-hmm. Where no matter what you're going through, you listen to that voice for like 2 hours and her original compositions and stuff. And it's just a beautiful cathartic experience that you don't get to experience so often anymore in this world right now, that just allows you to disconnect.
Yeah. And
I find that's a very redeeming quality of not just the album, but of Lyn Christopher's voice and of her as an artist.
And I think it's interesting that we haven't even mentioned Paul or Jean. This record isn't about them. It's about her music, her voice, and the whole experience, right?
Well, yeah, because I mean, it was recorded prior to Kiss, so I mean, yeah. It's fortunate that Paul and Jean and Peter moved on to Kiss, and they became such a phenomenon, a part of American pop culture and a global phenomenon. But easily at this point in time, their career could have just fizzled out, and nothing would have come of them. But we would still have had this beautiful artistic statement from Lyn Christopher, with these unknown guys singing in the background, contributing to the songs.
Right. So true. So true. So listen, my overall reaction to this record, I love it. And you basically said it all. So basically, what I want to do is send a little message to Lynn, because Lynn, I know you're watching, and I just want to say how grateful I am that we managed to keep in touch after all these years. It truly means a lot to me. And I'm so excited to see the rewards that this reissue will bring you. And I hope fans, both longtime Kiss fans and music fans in general, will take this chance to rediscover your work. And just as importantly, I hope a whole new generation gets to experience your music for the very first time. They are not going to regret it. You are such a kind soul, and I sincerely wish you all the happiness and success in this world, because this record is a reflection of who you are. And it's something that I've always known about you. You are just an amazing person. And that amazing person has created such amazing music. So thank you so much for bringing this experience to the fans. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot more adulation from here on end as fans start to listen to this record. So Eric, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. And you were the perfect person for this. You really know music. You know your stuff. You know the ins and outs, and you couldn't have reviewed the album any better.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think Lynn is really going to appreciate it as well.
Well, I hope so, because she's a fantastic artist.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Kiss Army, did you listen to Lynn's debut album? What did you think? Let me know in the comment section. Till the next time, talk soon, Kiss Army.